and Kazan, the poster human people for taking any of the size perks that are going to be scaling off that quite nicely. Also, we have 2 boots. Oh man, the boots used to be gone. Give them a little bit of a buff, and they are back to stay, and we'll be seeing some of that here as well as one of the barriers goes down here for EKC. Both of them now gone for EKC. Weaslebees is holding on to this one. Zaxmac defending with their life against NXED. Carmine helping out nicely in the defense, but Katsuna and NXED have a big push here, but nice clear from Zaxmac is going to keep this point alive, and now they're on a huge offense as Zaxmac is pushed up into space. Yeah, right in there. A little extra reinforcement from Carmine is going to secure that goal, and Weaslebees starting out from the gate. First blood goes to them.
Yeah, bang right in there. I'm a big fan of this Kazan right here. Just obviously size start, Rasmus, Kazan, like you said. Put the fries in the bag, put the big brawlers in there. But Kazan particularly just is always going to be very nice. And especially into Era has such a nice matchup. You know, Era just doesn't have the defensive tools to get through things like Hook. It's just Hook, but, you know, really tough there. And we're seeing it. I think they have Weaslebees more pressure in the early sets here, but we'll have to see. As a big snipe, big blink snipe right in the corner, the Estelle special right in there, putting it in. Get a point on the board for EKC.
Yeah, looking good right now. I do think the power level for both of these teams is pretty high, too. AiMi getting aerials on start, as well as the Stealth getting it, too, which makes them so strong. Wow, nice combo there from Carmine. Is going to land them a power play here to start it off on this next point. Katsuna going to stall for just a moment there, but actually lose that interaction to Wee, who's going to grab one of those orbs to keep themselves in the game. Soren wins a huge interaction there. Actually grabs the barrier for themselves. NXDD helping with the defense there to keep this one up. The Firewall Sentry comes in again. Soren whiffs the flip there, but the barrier still stays. And that situation is going to be successfully won by EKC, as no barrier there is left for Weaslebees. They're going to push onto the top lane here. Zaxmac and a nicely clear to the bottom where there is no one left. A flip there from Wee. It's going to at least clear the ball for a moment and give them some advantage. Soren spends the Bewitching Beam to get that one out of there as well. Carmine taking a little bit of extra damage here. Can we grab this one with the top spin? Not quite. Nice. Zaxmac drone, but Katsuna's got that bottom lane covered, and that's just a load of pressure coming in from EKC to take that second point.
Yeah, just the Estelle always showing up, getting it done. It's the Estelle Rasmus comp, the core control special. They just have so many ranged abilities to snipe the goalie out with. Something else on the other side, on Carmine here, the AiMi, something I did not notice is that this guy's rocking pummelers. So he's very clear in his win condition. But it might come back to bite him with the a speed deficit going into Rasmus and Estelle, who have so much coverage across the map. It might be hard to deal with. We'll have to see. We're looking at it right now a little bit, just NXCD holding this thing in the corner, not letting it go, but I feel like any opportunities that Weaslebees can find, they'll be capitalized on immediately with the AiMi and the Kazan here.
Yeah, I agree as well. The AiMi speed might come into play a little bit later as they set up the Firewall Sentry here to push it on through the bottom side. Gets reinforced there from the Maelstrom too. The orb spawns right in the center though, which is actually going to interrupt EKC's push, but Soren finds the line, bro. Finds the line right past all 5 other players. Gets it on in there. EKC nicely taking that first set there and grabbing their first awakening will be Katsuna. Well-deserved, smacking that ball as much as possible, and we'll see some good awakenings show up for them. What will we be seeing here?
Yeah, I think the awakening of this draft that I'm looking at is Monumentalist. I think Soren's going to have to deny that from Zaxmac, or things are going to get kind of dirty. We're also seeing a Super Surge deny coming out, but that does mean that Carmine's picking up Prize Fighter, and power on AiMi is super scary, especially with the pummelers. The KOs could be coming in out of left field, really. And here, a good Reptile Remedy pick from NXCD as well, getting the Stagger Awakening. Stagger and Brawlers, you know, handshake emoji. A wonderful time, but that means that Wee's picking up that specialized training, which could also be pretty dangerous. We're just seeing a lot of damage, a lot of KO threat come out from Weaslebees, which is funny because they're going into EKC, who's just like hunkering down on the core control right now. But you know, the win condition for WEEB is clear. They know what they want to do, and right now Katsuna is really really feeling it. They're gonna have to secure the kill if they want to win. And try as they might, EKC is just, well, they got it, but doing a great job on the core control here.
Yeah, it's going to work out for them. That kill is also going to activate those pummelers. 30% speed. Going to be able to run circles around this. Going to keep that one going as well. Pummelers will remain active, and another stack of prize fighter will be landed there for Carmine. Actually, first stack didn't really get participation for the other one there, as the ball is going to roll on in with an assistance of that firewall sentry, adding a couple of stuns to the opposing team. These little bees comes out on top for there. Yeah, we saw WEEB actually grabbing that kill by themselves, really, with that specialized training. Could be their ticket here. If there's something I've noticed from the team of WEEB's Little Bees, that someone, at least somebody on the team, is taking a ton of extra damage. They really like going for those kills. And we can see, once again, a kill is exchanged here, and WEEB's Little Bees is now on top.
Yeah, pulling ahead in this set. Almost getting another KO onto NXDD there, but WEEB taken down. The big struggle of picking Kazan is that he just doesn't have, he has no stagger. He is so he's so frail, and we've been seeing him get low a few times, but it's the first time he's knocked out. EKC probably wanting to replicate that now as well, looking low. NXDD rushing in and just bulldozing through right there. You know, staggered or near staggered goalie. Not a whole lot you can do in terms of defense, and EKC kind of clapping back there at that point.
Yeah, well done. And like you mentioned a second ago there, Kazan definitely low health pool now as well. You can see she almost died there just from trying to defend the ball against like a whiplash and maybe a pendulum swing or two. And so it's just, she's going to be taking a whole lot of damage, although Carmine has 3 stacks of prize fighters now, looking real strong to keep these kills going here. Flip from Katsuna is actually going to lose that interaction there to ZaxMax. Proximity drone. NXDD wins the situation there and wins a big one. Gets that pendulum swing to secure that barrier. Carmine now looking a little bit weak, but gets lifelined nicely up. Katsuna now looking at the kill target here. We probably going to spend a little bit of time going for that kill, although the ball is in a pretty precarious situation here. ZaxMax does end up getting out. Carmine trying to recover just a little bit here, though. The big 2v1 situation gets kind of foiled from the center clear, but whoa, huge Maelstrom is going to stun ZaxMax for at least a day for NXDD to push that one in.
Yeah, delivered ZaxMax back to his goal on express shipping, and NXDD doing it was really interesting, just like, it was so difficult to see the core through the Maelstrom. He was able to strike it up and then follow it with the slick kick speed. She strike it again at the bottom, and oh, just taking a prize fighter stack away from Carmine right there. Oh. And another EKC, reminding everyone who the KO team here really is. Just 1-2 double power play here. ZaxMax holding on right now. Oh, and now Carmine's back, looking a little low, but has an opportunity as the power play is reversed here.
Big reverse, big hold there from Zachary Smackery. Actually ends up holding it down, keeps a barrier, takes one of their own. Team has returned to grab the second one, although we do get a nice snipe there from Katsuna. The piercing shot's going to be enough to send on off the board there. Here we go, Carmine waiting to get back here as the last barrier falls down. They're going to try to hold this one. No orbs left to be eaten, although the Maelstrom comes in and kind of blocks it out, but NXDD cannot win that situation. ZaxMax comes out on top. The Bewitching Beam, the hook. Katsuna out of nowhere with double dash perk is going to be teleporting right across the map, putting that one in, and any light that WEEB's Little Bees could have been seen might have been snuffed out there as the second set goes on over to EKC.
Yeah, and then there a second Stagger Awakening has hit the Brawler. That's Bulk Up Reptile Remedy. That's both of them. Well, a Big Fish, but you know, no need to... I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
He's fine.
Anyway, Bulk Up Reptile Remedy, just, that's a lot of Stagger. That's a lot of power. And I don't know what happened those last 2 points, but both teams just started blowing each other up. So we might be seeing a lot more of that as Deadeye AiMi being picked up for Carmine. That's a game changer. The prize fighter was big enough, but now this guy's just going to be annihilating people. Just went for the kill off kickoff right there, off rip. You know, we not left with a whole lot, taking hot shot. I'm surprised no one else picked up the hot shot, but we saw a lot of denies go through that draft, and really it's I think those two picks, the Bulk Up and the Deadeye, are the two big ones here.
Yeah, definitely going to cause a lot of problems for the opposing teams. ZaxMax didn't manage to get another, you know, he has the spark of leadership here with that spark of focus. We'll see if that comes into play here, though. But like you said, Carmine building up as much damage as possible, grabbing Deadeye. Although Soren did end up getting Adrenaline Rush. Let's see if that actually activates at any situation. You know, the Maelstrom does some crazy stuff. as the push from the top lane does not make it through. Kitsuna is just a pixel away from getting that strike in there. Carmine easily giving the ball right over to WEEB. Soren does read the situation, but Era simply does not have enough strikes to get that ball away from Kazan, who is the lord and savior of strikes and extra hits. So it's going to end up winning out on that situation, and that's kind of what they're going to try to be looking for, I feel like. They really want a nice, clean 1v1 Kazan against Era if you are Wee's Little Bees. It's really, really tough to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. That really looks like their win condition, I think, if they can get a KO or force those 1v1 situations in some other way and just let we have 500 abilities on top of Soren, because like what is the Era gonna do? We saw the strike primary try and come out, but the beam just not able to catch it, not able to get through all those hits in time, and it's just so difficult. There though, big flip on NXD's part, taking the barrier. Now EKC really they keep going down a point and then trying to surge back, but that's a big KO. Katsuna looking low. Lots and lots going on here.
Absolutely. Katsuna trying to make the most of their last, not stock, the last little bit of their health there. A different game, possibly. Carmine has all his cooldowns ready to go for this Soren, but actually ends up surviving that situation against all of those AiMi's cooldowns. We almost had a chance to get the ball, kind of taken out of their hands from NXT. Even Zaxmack kind of miscalculates a little bit there, loses control of the ball. Possibly missed it there with the drone, which is what they were trying to set up, but either way, point for EKC, whether you like it or not.
Yep, EKC getting another one. 2 more, and they win this game, a clean 3-0. But again, Wee's Little Bees, they have a... I'm still, like, freaking out at this Deadeye AiMi, and just... Carmine going for it, has a lot of potential to just explode. And, well, not what I meant, but there Carmine taking a little trip in the penalty box. We looking like he's next, just having to go back for this orb, and now EKC are just looking really dominant this point.
Yeah, that power play pretty much destroyed any momentum that Wee's Little Bees had there, although they could... Yeah, they could have found a situation to bring that momentum back, although another power play is going to make it even more difficult. Wow, Zaxmack lives by just about nothing, although everyone notices that, now does not have a health pool. NXT self-dribbling with that flip, going to be at least mixy enough to get it on through there with another power play showing up. Tough situation here for Wee's Little Bees. Carmine out of prize fighter stacks. That is a do absolutely nothing awakening, and if they don't get any kills, their goalie here doesn't really do anything. So on their last legs here to just try to bring this one back, and it's going to take a lot more than just hope.
Yeah, able to get the flip out of Soren right there and pick up a barrier in the meantime. Wee's Little Bees looking good so far at this point. They have an opportunity. That's second barrier. This is exactly what they want to see. Zaxmack taking flight. Mom Boots in tow, able to get in there, but that's going to be another barrier down, and just a beam poking it right through is going to clear that game. 3-0 in sets for EKC right there.
Yeah, well played there. That really was just a beam, just a good old beam from Katsuna, maybe covering a clear, maybe going for a kill. Like, it didn't seem so calculated, that specific one, but hit the ball, got it on through, and it was well placed. Better than me, that's for sure. Taking a look at some of these stats that are showing up here. We got 8 kills for the team of EKC. That's a little bit more than 5 kills, which I would love to believe that Wee's Little Bees was kind of going for the damage route there. We saw a lot of damage showing up there for Carmine, even with that Deadeye. Could not seem to make it happen. I mean, they had 3 stacks of prize fighters in one of those sets, but EKC was just kind of putting up enough pressure to make it so that either the kills were not as meaningful or they just could not find them. And that would basically reduce some of your awakenings to nothing, as they are going for the ball control and making it work out, even get a lot of kills. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 times there we saw NXZD just do a point-blank hook into flip combo, and that'll just kill you. That'll just get you right on off the map there. So well played for EKC.
Yeah, it really felt like they had everything covered. They were hitting the ball. I suppose Zaxmack had the most redirects in the game, so not hitting the ball more than Wee's Little Bees, but definitely getting the barriers, getting a lot of KOs, just all other metrics cleared right there. And so I really have to wonder how Weaslebees responds, because that's difficult. They had, I think, something nice going on. They had a pretty focused idea of what they wanted to do, but we're just struggling to get it through in the face of EKC, who was doing what they wanted to do, but more effectively there.
Agreed. I would say that for the most part, EKC maybe had less but more effective plays whenever they had the chance to get the ball, but no problem there. We shall move on to the next game here. I did end up missing which map is on. Did you happen to catch the map? Is it app?
I did not. I have no idea. I'm hoping it's app. That would be awesome. It's app. It's app. And
Okay, I saw the picture just for a second and I was like, that's just a hole. I'm gonna go with app. Yeah. So yeah, at AiMi's app. Yeah, really, really volatile map here, especially in the high level NASL championship series, right? Like everyone is just playing the best that they can to get the opponents to fall in the hole. And man, if you could just name a couple of awakenings that would put the opponent in a hole, it might be something like 1-2 punch or Deadeye, which is
Whoa.
maybe gonna result in a couple of interesting bans. I mean, Rasmus has got to get out of there, but then you leave out Juliette, and if you want to ban Juliette because 1-2 punch, then you have Luna to deal with, and then it's like maybe Vice is too much damage, and then you're also thinking like, well, is Drek'ar could too? Drek'ar has this stupid combo. I mean, this is rough. I would not want to be playing right now, just in general.
Yeah, broadly speaking, this looks very difficult. But if that last game was any indication, I think both these teams are, rubbing their hands deviously at this start. Just a KO fiesta. We're gonna be seeing something great. We're gonna be seeing a big Luna band come out from We's Little Bees on the Deadeye start. That makes sense. And EKC banning Juliette, not first pick, not letting the Juliette go through.
Wow.
I'm sure they would have loved to pick it, but that's going to be the first pick. Rasmus, right in the bin, right immediately. Deadeye Rasmus on the app. We've been hearing a lot about Rasmus at top level play, not recently, but just across the past few months. And the idea that's been going around is he's not that big of a threat if you just watch out for the hook, which on paper makes a lot of sense. In practice, we'll have to see, because it really is easier said than done. But I I think EKC could do it, but I also think that, assuming that's Wee Rasmus, he can just show up, start taking people into the hole, and then that's exactly what Wee's Little Bees was looking for last game, is just getting those power plays and then forcing tough situations. They could just bulldoze if EKC is not careful here.
Yeah, it could be definitely rough for EKC to deal with this Rasmus. Although, you know, We's Little Bees are picking like a second win condition there with the Octavia. Probably gonna try to sneak on by with the Octavia while Rasmus absorbs all the attention. Keep your eyes on that hook, because if you don't, you are going to die. So Octavia might be able to sneak around here and just kind of be unseen while probably We is going to be absorbing all the attention. Of course, they are picking a lot of damage on the opposing side, EKC, with AiMi and Juno. Juno, I mean, I think we know at this point that Juno is just actually a good damage dealer. Like, surprising amount of player knockback from that primary, and I mean, you step on a blob with like Deadeye, and you are surprised on how much damage that does. Although not really cleaning up the super damage comp, but with Era, which is fine. Close range map allows Era to get that secondary on all the teammates there, and of course, the Maelstrom is pretty solid at blocking off some of these side lanes, which there are sort of two. There are side lanes that seem to exist here because there's something you can't touch in the middle. So it should be a pretty interesting game here with these comps. Dubu, Dubu,
Dubu.
Dubu.
I know what you mean.
Right?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm strapped in. What I want to see. Number one thing, I'm calling it. I want to see someone watching out for the Rasmus hook, and then Octavia comes in like a maniac with ult and just vaporizes someone. That would be my dream.
That could easily
What I'm looking
happen. You're
for.
gonna be spending all your evades on that hook, right?
Yeah, it's and then the second evade tax comes and uh-oh, things are looking a
You're
little
out.
scary.
Yeah, should be, I would say, probably a hot octane game. It is interesting for EKC to be like, okay, yeah, Juliette, you know, they are probably better with Juliette than they are with Rasmus. She might be the bigger threat here. And then Rasmus gets through. I mean, I know it really is hard, I think, to let Rasmus through on Amy's app and say, yeah, we're gonna win this game either way. You just gotta have eyes everywhere. You gotta be so aware, and they're going to be, right? You know, in comms, they're gonna be like, okay, Rasmus's hook cooldown is 20 seconds. I don't actually remember what it is. 2019, 18, it's around that number. And they're gonna be calculating that stuff. They got the stopwatches going, you know. You know that they're aware.
Yeah, absolutely. The phone timer is out, and they're counting it every time. But it does take so much presence of mind to watch out for the hook all the time. So even having comms, having someone tell you like, "Hey, hook is up," you still have to be peripherally aware of where the Rasmus is, if he can hook you, all that while you're playing Omega Strikers, and
Hmm.
it's a big ask. It's really tough, and we'll have to see if EKC is ready for it, because that's the gamble they're playing to here, is that they're saying, yeah, we can do this.
They can do this. Of course, I get the name bug, which is super cool. It doesn't matter either way. We know everyone on this team. We got double boots showing up again. Man, boots, the fan favorite, the flavor of the month, are just good. It's not actually a flavor. It's literally just how you live life. Both of them showing up again as We's Little Bees going to be losing that one and only barrier. Oh my gosh, Carmine almost taken off the map there from that AiMi combo, but going to survive for just a couple more moments, as we're having Katsuna kind of looming over here with this Juno, trying to maybe get one of the primaries in there, trying to manage it through with that firewall, but they do end up surviving the situation. Carmine healing up as much as possible there, taking a lot of damage, but now they're finally out of stagger. Everyone on kind of on the bottom lane here, though, where they're going to try to work it towards the barrier, getting it through NXDD as much as they can. Finally do find a way to get it through, sacrifices the ball, but instead gets a kill with that hook. Power play for We's Little Bees might end up resulting in this entire point. We have Zaxmac moving up here with the flip, but they're going to go to the top side. Really scary situation. Still kind of scary, but the ball is going to bounce favorably there for We's Little Bees as this point keeps going.
Yeah, a big opportunity for We's Little Bees there, getting the KO. Things were looking incredibly scary there, but Katsuna back on the board now, looking to get something done. Has these Deadeye Slimes, get a little bit of speed, but that's another hook, and that's another Pummeler's proc for Wii here. Has all this extra speed, has a flip, is just going to be putting it in that top corner there. Nothing that can be done on Soren's end, and that's, I think, an incredibly telling first point of this game.
Yeah, I think it might be. I mean, those hooks really did get on through. That multiple kills on the first point there with hook does not directly bode well for EKC, but we shall see if they will be adapting a little bit more later. You know, a couple more awakenings probably gives them a little bit more freedom to work around their energy, but we'll see. Their barrier is now down here, and so is We's Little Bees. We're also going to lose a player too, so a power play for EKC is going to result in a whole lot of pressure. Katsuna actually going for the orb instead of being in place to get that pass, but he was unaware that their teammate there was winning the situation so well. But either way, taken on off the map, We's Little Bees loses another player, and they lose that point as well. So the power plays were for EKC that time. The hooks didn't manage to make it on through. So is it telling? I don't know.
I'm learning a lot. We just, well, what I saw is that EKC sat down and said, yeah, the Rasmus can't hurt us if we just kill him. Unfortunately, he's not dead this point. Different situation, and NXT is down, but they kit dumped Wii and eventually got a KO. We're able to get another KO on Carmine, who, again, playing Octavia, has no stagger, but power play not getting much done, and Wii has been taken out. Kind of a we're seeing flavors of both the previous points here this time.
Yeah, they are definitely trying to get Wii the heck out of here. We're definitely not going to get hooked after the Rasmus has been slain, although whoa, takes a lot of damage from that Maelstrom, loses an entire health bar basically from 1 or 2 extra abilities, is going to get them right on off the map once again. WEEB has been slain. EKC free to take it, Katsuna self-passing it with the assistance of NXZD. It's going to be a relatively clean point right at the end there. Those perfect lines, the lines there from EKC were real and highlighted for them.
Yeah, that was a wonderful play from Katsuna there. Really appreciate that. It looked like he told NXCD to pass into that area to pick up the core with the slimes and then just put it in right there. You know, really nice. But here EKC 1 point away from claiming the first set after a catastrophic first point. But you know, that part's not important if you're showing up and claiming the set. Everyone can have a bad point. Soren has this flip. It's going to be hard to get through. We did see it also. A big KO out of WEEB, but also Soren able to just beam WEEB and force him to just be small and not do much, which as Rasmus is a death sentence here. But barrier open, WEEB's Little Bees has a chance right here, and they're gonna get it. A nice shot to the top corner, and that's gonna tie up this set.
This is crazy. They are EKC is kind of dumping everything onto WEEB, getting those kills, and WEEB is kind of just surviving just by an inch, and then, you know, WEEB comes back, gets in there, gets those objectives, and things are rough. Although the combo, nicely from NXCD, is going to pretty easily slay Octavia there. No health bar, but a little too close to the map either way. Lot of damage on to Zaxmac, but either way, a resulting kill is going to be positive for WEEB's Little Bees, as they have 3 teammates still alive. Can they get this barrier? Can they actually manage to get this set? Things were looking so good first for the first point, and then they were looking very not good, and we were like, oh, EKC, they figured it out, right? They were like, oh, don't get hooked, of course, and they were just bringing it back. They were getting kills onto WEEB, and now it's kind of close. It's kind of tough here. WEEB's Little Bees still has their barrier, although the same strategy might apply.
Yeah, it's EKC has an opportunity here, but they're really struggling to get this barrier right now. The Mombird's Dubu just skating around. A KO not found right there on WEEB. Zaxmac has a flip. That's the barrier, but that's another Pummeler's proc, another KO, another power play for WEEB's Little Bees. Soren with a great save right there. Carmine not able to push it in with the base drop, but able to get it on the strike. And WEEB's Little Bees are going to be taking the first set.
Dang, it really is just back and forth with these guys. It was like everyone, I feel like at the end, everyone was like really focused on the ball. It was close, it was tight, it was overtime, and then boom, Rasmus hook. Don't forget, bro, I am killing you with full health, easily, from the center stage. Literally, it's the best in center stage, as WEEB does end up grabbing an Awakening that shall make a nightmare here for EKC. Not more damage, more knockback here to the best move in the game is going to be really tough here for EKC. They're not grabbing anything too impactful here. I guess, like, honestly, the explosive entrance AiMi is pretty great. Gives her a lot more damage and just, like, way more control of this map in general. Although, it seems like WEEB's Little Bees picks up a secondary win condition being team player. Although, losing one of those members is going to make team player a little bit more difficult. WEEB really just the kill target in these games. Can they survive without him? They're gonna have to learn. They're gonna have to learn how to.
Yeah, I was looking at the draft. Holy moly, the specialized training is paying off as it's expected. But I was looking at the explosive entrance and a little concerned because Carmine able to pick up bulk up. Able to base drop there and maybe drop the core into the net. It happens. Everyone gets one. You know, things happen on the field and everyone gets one. But Carmine picking up bulk up, gonna be pretty nice. But I was worried. I was like, Octavia getting stagger, but no, the explosive entrance is so strong on AiMi. We're just seeing it again and again. Just someone blows up, they get a 6-second point or 5-second point.
Yeah, it is. You know, people really be dying off the side right now. Not really so much in the middle, although, I mean, the Rasmus hook is definitely killing off the middle a lot, but we do see a lot of kills coming out from EKC. This AiMi has got a lot of extra knockback get some of these kills. This power play might result in this barrier here. Like, he gets there in time. Skating around, like you said, with those momentum boots makes Dubu feel a little bit more manageable when it comes to pushing up in that midfield. Although that's way too many blobs. Maybe too many for the team to handle, although they do survive the situation and get a kill of their own. The hook is truly immortal. Bow down to the hook, although now we're bowing down to the base drop. Unfortunately, we misses that strike there. They had that situation, but going to drop it for this situation. Oh my god, gonna drop it there. End up finding themselves gone once again. This AiMi NXCD is comboing so well, and they're gonna have to survive this power play once again, man.
Yeah, we keep seeing NXCD dash onto someone and then catch them with the glitch pop, and he always makes sure to send them into the wall. That one was linear. That was a straightforward, but he keeps coming in at awkward angles and then glitch popping specifically to hit them into the wall, and it's like upsetting to look at because it's just, that shouldn't kill, but then he doesn't, and it should. He has Deadeye and explosive entrance, and it's really a lot of damage. But just these teams are trading back and forth KOs left and right, up and down, every direction that you could even fathom in this game here.
Yeah, it is just carnage. Really, it is simply carnage. Both of these teams are doing so much damage. I feel like Soren kind of dropped that for a second there, gave the position for Carmine to grab the ball, although the stun from NXCD is going to make that even more difficult, and they do finally get it past. You know, we do have team player on to WeeZLB. ZachSmack does have it for the overtime, but EKC was just, they're just so coordinated when it comes to getting these kills and stacking the damage where they need to. And now their damage dealer, their main destroyer, first to grab an Awakening Adrenaline Rush. If you've ever been more enticed to spend your cooldowns on dealing damage, it is now, as they shall return with this Adrenaline Rush. It's going to be a big threat here for WeeZLBs.
Yeah, I would go as far as to say Adrenaline Rush could be that we could call the game right there. We've been seeing this guy just snipe these KOs. WeeZLBs has to play so carefully here if they don't want to let the Adrenaline Rush proc, because just any one proc is a point enter. Really, we are seeing we pick up some stagger with the Reptile Remedy, which is massive. You know, if he's not getting KO'd by the knockback from Deadeye explosive entrance, that'd be big. Unfortunately, teammate different story here. KO's traded a humble 2v2, but that's a 2v2 with the Adrenaline Rush proc. It's a lot of CDs and a lot of passing, and unfortunately, the Dubu can only do so much, even with the momentum boots, just not having any opportunity to... You got to pick a side, and then the other side's open, and melee goalie moment.
Yeah, you know, tough situation when you get like really clean 2v1'd right there. Giving the ball on over to Wee, though. Soren could not maintain control of that situation. They lose their barrier for it. See if we can get a kill here, though. NXCD tries to go for another snipe with that cyber swipe, although a stun from the pendulum swing is going to get Soren on out of there. The ball will roll on through. WeeZLBs grabs a point in this set, actually evens it up. It actually feels like EKC has been kind of winning this whole time, but they have taken the first set, so it is... If it feels bad, it's not that bad.
Yeah, the game is completely tied right now. You know, neither team in favor. And honestly, WeeZLB is looking great at this point. You know, pulling ahead, have an opportunity. But that is their Dubu down, unfortunately.
Yeah, at least it took the flip, right? At least it took the flip. NXCD has been snagging these kills with just cyber swipe, glitch pop combo, but hey, you know what? At least it used the flip there. They do end up grabbing the point. EKC ahead now, just by a little bit. We is being destroyed for the most part. That was ZachSmack that ended up dying there, but they are, honestly, they're surviving a little longer than I thought they would in these power plays, but I think that was probably because that NXCD did not have that Adrenaline Rush, so the cooldowns were kind of down for those for the time that the teammate was coming back. But with the Adrenaline Rush, you know, it could be curtains in some of these situations here, man. If NXCD continues to find kills, if the team does not stand near the edge, you know, they might not find any kills. This could be a situation where they could actually pull ahead because of Octavia.
Yeah, really. We've been seeing fewer KOs come out this set than the previous one, and that's going to be the barrier down. We've been seeing Weaslebees get the first barrier a lot here, and you know it takes EKC getting a KO or some crazy play to re-even the playing field. But here, just Soren is doing a great job at defending, not letting the ball through, and it seems like eventually EKC is able to get the barrier and force more difficult situations for Weaslebees to defend against.
Yeah, we do have overtime showing up there, though, and a big kill from NXT once again. You can see the adrenaline rush not only giving all your cooldowns back to get another kill, but man, look at all that speed. 40% speed, and I think that got nerfed a while ago. I'm pretty sure it was even more than 40%, or maybe even last longer. But either way, that is a scary awakening when activated. You lose a teammate, and somebody else becomes super powered, so rough time. That's why they're going for kills, guys. That is why they're going for this combo. They're only going to be looking at more damage. Yeah, Prize Fighter to just be so much stronger here. 23 power per stack is going to make things really difficult. Let's see what we can get here to help themselves out. Heavy Impact is okay. It does help the Pendulum Swing get a couple more kills, just knock a little bit farther back. Nothing else here is too crazy. I mean, Octavia getting Super Surge is pretty nice if they can survive. I mean, it really hasn't been kill Octavia. It's just been kill Wii this whole time, and it's been working out pretty well. Although, like you mentioned a little bit earlier, getting that Reptile Remedy could be the thing that's keeping Wii alive for these remaining sets. Except for that.
Except not that one. That's a Prize Fighter stack in the bag right there. Pretty scary. I'm like that just looked like a wonderful draft for NXT. Sitting there is like, I take Prize Fighter, I can take Super Surge and just blow people up even more. I mean, the power is just... That's 3 stacks. Like, hard to deny that. Almost took out Wii right there. Just, like, going clipping people left and right. It's...
Oh, God.
We're looking at a vicious game. Zaxmac getting active there, but just held back by Soren, who has this flip. And I can smell it. He wants to, yeah, rip it on offense right here. And is going to be putting it in with it. And EKC is just running away with this series right now.
They are. I mean, NXT got 2 stacks of Prize Fighter there. Has now entered 170 power. Infinite multiplication here for your impacts. Although it's not going to be as strong as single ability Hook. See if they can make it work. Except for the part where Octavia died frame 1. Here comes Heavy Impact to destroy Soren. And that was kind of a... That was a point. That was a point and a half right there. Hey, he took a stack, Prize of Stack Fighter from NXT as well. So if Weaslebees can do that every single point, I think they'll win, guys. Really, I do.
It's true. That was a great point for them. It just... I don't know where I am anymore. I don't know what's going on. Nobody's on the field. They just stopped doing that for a little bit, and I don't know. Oh my God, Carmine has just been taken away. Taking a lot of damage, and I feel like the players aren't even like, they're hitting the core, but it doesn't feel like it, you know. It seems like I'm just watching a different game. I guess NXT's not hitting the core anymore. That guy's just trying to kill Carmine. And it's brutal. It's a war zone out here.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Carmine can't find the time to regenerate. Like you said, NXT really just focusing their efforts to try to get that kill. Adrenaline Rush is active one more time. The cooldowns are all back. Once again, the speed is actually undeniable. You can't do anything when AiMi is flying around at 70% extra speed. Pummeler's activated. And now we enter the possible last point here of this series. EKC feeling themselves right now. Soren has a flip. Frame 1 takes that barrier. Katsuna does not care. NXT has gone to eat a sandwich. Soren and Katsuna are left. Let's see what happens here. Spending the Maelstrom to get it on through the top lane. Can they finish it out here in under a minute?
Yeah, looking for it right here with that early barrier, but that's NXT losing a Prize Fighter stack, getting taken down. Now, maybe paying the price for his hubris here. No energy on the side of EKC, which is no energy in the game. There was energy before, but not anymore. And so, really even here, another hook KO for Weaslebees, though. This is what they need. They just have to get through Soren and NXT, but the slow roller, giving everyone a little bit of a scare. But Carmine able to win the interaction, the strike, the primary. Soren looking like he did not have the beam up, and scary point all around, but Wee's Little Bees getting another one. 1 point away from bringing us to a set 5, really just evening the game out, changing the landscape entirely. This game could still go either way, somehow.
It definitely could. Octavia, one of the better characters for scaling, that's for sure, but not really scaling her health pool. She's taking a whole lot of damage right now. They get the combo there. The barrier goes down for Wee's Little Bees. We see that Octavia Carmine has taken the defense position here just for a moment as Zaxmack is trying to move up here with Wee, although losing the barrier there, activates Whiplash, gets kind of bewitched right there though, goes for the combo, doesn't seem to manage it. Soren survives that situation. Now it's up to Zaxmack and Carmine onto the top lane to try to get this ball to B one more time. Or Wee, not B, it's Wee's Little Bees, but it's mostly Wee's. And now they're going to try to push it on over there once again. Carmine, nice evade to survive that situation. Flips on up there to Katsuna, although Carmine wins that situation one more time. Kind of a ping-pong situation. Nice pass to avoid a whole lot of extra cooldowns there. Red balls it on over to Wee, who brings it back with the hook and actually manages to get the ball in. Wow, we are even here 2-2 in sets for this series. Wee's Little Bees could actually find their way into a win.
Yeah, we're seeing a generational lock-in from Wee's Little Bees right here. We saw Wee with the Kazan play, the hook strike hook on the line right there to secure it, being rewarded with extra special. The cast last being denied from Octavia, not going through. I've been really appreciating Carmine and how much patience and like solid decision making he had to do at that last point to win. I feel like every time he had the ball, he sent it to a place that would make him win the game. And he played it slow in some situations, played it fast, others just really directed the tempo of the game on this Octavia, which is kind of that's what you show up and do. Unfortunately, didn't get a massive awakening, had to deny the spark of leadership to not let Katsuna get any more sparks here, but still they still have the KO potential. They still have opportunities to win, and the Octavia is really doing a lot of work here.
That she is, getting all over the place. Yeah, like you mentioned, a little sad to have to deny the spark of leadership because of Juno grabbing those two sparks there. Can't manage to get among Titans, which would have been really great for Octavia, as Wee is trying their hardest to get it on through here, though. They're kind of in this 2v1 situation, although we do have NASL spending their cooldowns to try to do something. Leaves their post. Wee gets the ball, takes advantage of that, smacks Soren right in the face, gets the ball in. I mean, this is Wee's actual win condition, bro. Get that ball to Wee. Maybe become a distraction. Carmine, fresh meat, bro. Octavia got no health. Just smack her a couple times, no problem. But Wee is no joke, bro. As we can see, the hook never stops. Although the barrier does go down for Wee's Little Bees. Makes this situation quite precarious as, man, Katsuna's got a whole lot of core knockback there with all of these awakenings, a lot of extra power too. Comboed, and now there's just simply no hope to get that ball away. A point there for EKC. Zaxmack, probably a little too close to the edge, but I mean, NXTD has an insane amount of knockback.
Yeah, a disturbing build on this brawler here. I was thinking very loudly and not saying it, that EKC this set has been really struggling, and then NXTD did that. And then he showed up and did that, so maybe not struggling that badly. He did get a prize fighter stack back after losing it, has lost it again, but just got it back, and that's another adrenaline rush proc. Went for blood right there on Wee again, and this is the game of snowballs. This is a game of snowballs. Both teams, they just get to decide that they want to keep going, and now EKC on series point once again. We'll have to see if Wee's Little Bees can dig deep like they did that last set and pull out another 2 points, or if this is curtains for the little honey-making fellas.
It's really close. It's really close to curtains. Their barrier does go down here. NXTD spends the glitch pop to try to get it on through. Both players backing up to not stack strikes there. That was a kind of a tough situation, although they do survive here. Carmine spending some time to get a little bit of healing. Incoming both cooldowns from Dubu to get it right on past NXTD, but can't get too much out of it, though. The Whiplash is going to whiff there. The Firewall shows up, but it's not going to do all that much. But man, there you go. The combo once again. Okay, actually had to spend their flip to survive that one, which came back right up. because of the adrenaline rush. Ketsuna waiting for their moment to strike, but gets foiled by the Tofu Fortress. The power play finally ends. Weez on in here with full cooldown, spends that hook, but can't seem to manage a kill on to NXCD, which would have been huge. They have flip, spends the flip, gets the strike there. Zaxmax survives the situation, although everyone's kind of playing defense right now. It's a tough situation. Spread out just a little bit. Here we go. Carmine does end up surviving that situation. Weez chance to get it on through their hooks it once again. Era can't really do anything, right? Like, in that specific situation against the hook, which gives you a cooldown or a strike reset, it's like, when you have nothing with Era, you can't really do all that much. So, nice one there from Wee to take advantage of that as the next point is starting.
Starting with a bang, as that's a KO found onto NXCD, down to 1 prizefighter stack. I'm on prizefighter watch. As this set 5.5 kicks off, and no barrier found, Soren able to hold right there with Katsuna. And Zaxmack is down. Katsuna close to a flip. They have this power play. They have all the resources. They have an adrenaline rush proc. There's the flip. It's going to take one flip to secure the deal. Weasel will be so close to bringing us to a game 3, but unfortunately, EKC just had the greatest AiMi build you could ever fathom, and so much more on both the other players. But like, I stand back and I'm looking at the KO count. Oh. That's 20 for NXCD to the 18 that we is able to put up. What a monstrous game! Oh my god.
Man, yeah, that was insane amounts of carnage there. 20 kills single player, 18 kills on the Rasmus. I mean, AKC got 2 more kills. They win the game. You know, the numbers just simply make sense at the end of the day, although the damage numbers are not even close. EKC eclipsing Wee's Little Bees in damage, which makes, I mean, perfect sense, right? Octavia is not master damage dealer. You got Dugu on the board, but we just have Rasmus Hook, which you could almost say that, hey, Rasmus Hook in kills might have done like 20,000 damage. So that's a lot of hooks being spent. EKC ends up eking that last game out there. Well-deserved as well, playing really nicely to their win condition. I mean, NXCD was just a demon on the sticks right there, actually getting every kill, every perfect combo. Really not messing up any of the combos, right? Like, got all the trajectories that they were looking for anytime, and it was just so much knockback. They might have even had some extra leeway there. There was a couple of situations where they actually got a cyber swipe on to Carmine and tried to combo, but Carmine dies just to the cyber swipe. It's pretty crazy. Man, what a game there. Really close from Wee's Little Bees. But you can see right there, I mean, EKC is like world-class gamers right there, and Wee's Little Bees was close every single time. So these teams are ready to game, and this is not the last you'll be seen of them.
Absolutely not. But with that, we're going to be wrapping this series up and moving on to RTF versus Bozo Bunch next game. And that's sure to be a banger. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm sitting here. Can't wait for that to start. But hey, until then, we'll see you then. Bye.